7 centers projected to go round in the latest mock draft from Jonathan Givony and Jeremy Woo. And Chiney, we're just over 50 hours away from the Atlanta Hawks being on the clock, deciding if they are going to go with big man while making the first selection. So, to dive in to all things NBA draft, let's welcome in the guru himself. Jonathan Givony is here. Jonathan, it feels like there's only a few years ago where small ball was all the rage and the traditional big man was getting phased out of the NBA. So what's in this draft class? What's changed where it seems like the center is the most coveted position?
Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and Victor Wembanyama. If you want to beat those guys in the playoffs, you better have some size in the paint. Every NBA teams are looking at this, and they're reverting back to these twin tower lineups that we haven't seen in 10, 15, 20 years. Guys like Zach Edey, like Donovan Clingan, these guys have a really good chance to be top 10 picks. 5 years ago, that would not have been the case. 25 years ago, they may have gone number 1 and number 2 in the draft.
It feels like, Jonathan, there's a lot of uncertainty about this draft, maybe more than we've seen over the last decade. I know I'm not the only one with questions, so I do want to bring in the rest of our esteemed panel here. I'm going to start with Tim because Givony is here to help. Tim, what's your biggest question heading into the draft?
Yeah, my biggest question is I'm looking at the Spurs. I think that's the most intriguing team looking at the top of the draft because of this incredible talent they have in Victor Wembanyama. They've got the 4 and the 8 pick. What are they looking to do? I think they need a point guard. Is there one to be had with one of those picks that they think they could plug in and potentially play right away? Or what is their thinking with those 2 picks to pair with Victor?
Tim, they have a perfect point guard sitting right there in Reed Shepherd potentially with the 4th pick. He has an elite feel for the game. He is the best shooter in this draft. He's highly competitive. He's unselfish. He's 19 years old. He's ready to pair with Victor Wembanyama and be this pick and roll duo of the future. Big question, is he going to get there? Will Houston take him at 3? And so these are some of the machinations that we're looking at going into Wednesday.
Speaking of staying in Texas, you mentioned my city at 3. I want to dive into that, Jonathan, because clearly, you know, this is an aspect, number 3, that people have been sleeping on. They have young stars in Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Green finished the year strong. Alperen Sengun got a lot of respect. They also have good vets in Fred VanVleet. What could they do, the Houston Rockets, at that 3rd spot?
Well, the moment that they got the number 3 pick, that's when the trade conversation started happening. Everybody knows that the Houston Rockets are in win now mode. There are some big veterans out there that people anticipate could potentially be on the move this offseason. Talking about guys like Brandon Ingram, like Jimmy Butler, like Marcus Smart potentially. You know, how aggressive are they going to be? Will a team like Memphis, for example, try and package the 9th pick and Marcus Smart and try and move up to the 3rd pick for a guy like Donovan Clingan? The Houston Rockets have a ton of young guys. That's the last thing that they need. NBA teams are penciling in a trade here with the number 3 pick.
Okay, I know I'm in LA and I'm about to head to JJ Redick's press conference when we get done with the show. What do the Lakers do with their 1st-round pick? Because we've been talking all year about the 3 first-round picks that they can trade to go get an established star. We've been talking about Bronny James at 55. Where are the Lakers now that they finally have their head coach?
Well, me and Chiney are wearing the right colors, I guess, for this question.
Always in sync.
I think that the Lakers need to take a patient approach. For them to mortgage the farm here and trade 3 first-rounders to go get, you know, like a Trae Young or a DeJounte Murray, you know, what does that really do for them? Does that make them championship contenders? I don't think so. I think the Lakers are thinking, taking a long view here, 5 years down the road. They need to be thinking the post-LeBron era. I'm not sure that. I think that championship window has closed, personally.
Jonathan, thank you so very much for your insight leading up to the draft. Go take a nap because it's probably the last day that you're going to
get a bank
any sleep at all. We're going to be seeing you all over our draft coverage all week long.